Hey guys, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we're gonna have a July and August book haul. Video up on my channel. I will link it down below in case you guys have not seen it yet, where I give a life update, basically just explaining why I had not posted any videos for a little over a month now, which is basically why I am doing a July and an August book haul, because I never filmed anything for the end of July to wrap that up. So I don't necessarily remember all the ones that I bought in July versus in August, but I do think I have it basically going from July to August. So we're just gonna get right on into this. First off, we have some manga. Barnes & Noble in July was doing a sale where it was buy two, get one free for Viz manga, and so I had to pick up a few of them. So the first one we have here is Queen's Quality Volume 7. This is by Kyosuke Motomi. I have not started the Queen's Quality series, which I've said each time I've hauled, basically volumes 1 through 6. However, I did read the first series that continues then into this, which was QQ Sweeper. I read the first 3 volumes of that one. Really loved them. I know I'm going to enjoy this, and so I keep picking them up, even though I haven't actually read the previous ones. But, you know, buy 2 get 1 free. So here we are. I also picked up the second volume of That Blue Sky Feeling by Okura. This is one that is pretty new. I want to say it recently came out like as I was buying this in July. I read the first volume, really enjoyed it. This is about a boy who finds out that his classmate is gay and sort of coming to terms with that. I don't fully remember everything that happened in the first one, but I do remember I enjoyed it, so I'll probably pick that one up before I read this one. But it was a really cute story, and I'm very excited to see more about this. This, I do believe, is a very good book to read, especially coming out of Japan as a manga. We need more of these like cute life-like stories in our lives. And then because I didn't say for Queen's Quality for whatever reason, probably because this is the 7th volume and I've explained this a few times with other volumes, but in case you haven't seen those videos, the first series is basically about a girl who ends up meeting this boy that she goes to school with, who end up going through this like portal door and cleans out negative thoughts and feelings and emotions from classmates to sort of help them out. I don't fully know what the Queen's Quality is, especially volume 7, but that concept from the first 3 books I really enjoyed, so that's why I keep picking these up. And then I also have volume 6 of Behind the Scenes. This is by Bisco Hattori, the same author of Ouran High School Host Club, which is like my all-time favorite. This one here is the 6th volume of a series where she has these kids. I say kids, they're basically, I believe, in college, and they run a like prop department for the different theater, film type of things. So they work behind the scenes of those productions, making the props and I think some sets and costumes as well. But again, really enjoyed this and the author as well, and I had to pick this one up. The next thing that I had picked up was the Stephen King Barnes & Noble Classic Editions. These are like those leather-ish bound hardcovers. This one's actually still in the plastic, which I sort of want to take off because they usually have really, really nice, interesting end papers on all these books. So let's actually remove that plastic. This one I bought because they were having a sale online around the same time I got everything else that I purchased in July from them, where it was like half off, and these are normally $25, so I got it for like $12.50, which is amazing. So here we do have the Pretty Stephen King book, silver paper, there we go, on the ends. This one has Carrie, The Shining, and Salem's Lot. And then this is our pretty end paper. Again, I just absolutely love these books, and they do a great job with like the design of them. Even though I usually don't read from these, I have read from them before. Here is our really nice, pretty spine. And then we have an SK on the back for Stephen King. The next one we have here is Teeth in the Mist by Dawn Kurtich. I'm probably really butchering that. This one is a book that I did read in July. I am probably not going to do a July wrap-up because I don't fully remember everything that I read or my complete feelings about it. This one here was in the middle of the road, probably gave it a 3 stars. This one I was expecting to just be a lot more spooky than it was. It definitely makes you think it's going to be creepier. So like on the back it says, there can be no denying it now. As she had been so desperate to do before, this mountain really is cursed, but not by a witch, by something far more dangerous. Diaboli, she hissed between her teeth. Devil. The floor beneath her laughs and begins to creak as though it is chewing. So again, it definitely made me think it was going to be creepier and scarier than it actually ended up being. Also, though, it's supposed to be between like 3 different time periods. We have somebody that's like current day, called Zoe. Then we have in 1851 Roan, and in 1583 Hermione. The thing is most of the beginning of the book is about Roan, most of the end of the book is about Zoe, and then Hermione is basically just, her point of view is just told in like diary entries, letter type of things, and it didn't really pull together completely for me. The ending was very intriguing, and it definitely seems like it left it open for potentially a continuation, and I might be interested in that, but I was just really hoping for a little bit scarier. But the storytelling aspect of it, of the 3 different time periods, was intriguing in the way that it sort of went from the, like, I guess the past to the present, even though we then also had the letters from Hermione, which was even further in the past. So this was read and purchased in July. Then I also picked up Wilder Girls by Rory Power. I have not read this one yet, but I'm very intrigued by it. This was the Barnes & Noble YA book club version of it. Not that I went to the book club, because that was in August. And again, like I said, I didn't really do anything in August. But this is a like weird sort of sci-fi-ish female version of Lord of the Flies. I really enjoyed Lord of the Flies when I read it back in middle school. I think I actually read it in like 8th grade. We watched the movie, and I've heard mostly good things about this, a couple mixed feelings, but it definitely seems like something right up my alley, and you cannot deny how gorgeous this cover is, and so I obviously had to buy it. The next thing we have here was received in July. However, this was a gift from a friend. They moved out of the country back home, so they knew I liked Star Trek, and this is apparently all about Vulcan. This is sort of supposed to be like a travel guide to Vulcan. I have not read it yet. I might not ever fully read it, but it is probably going to go on my Star Trek shelf, because why not? Okay, so now we're jumping into the things that I got in August, I'm pretty sure. The first one that I received was a Kickstarter that I had purchased months ago, and this is the graphic novel for Arthur Blackfrost by Justin Vincent Gray and Laura Ramazzombati. This is actually much bigger than I thought it was going to be. I just assumed graphic novel was going to be more closer to like the bind up size of like a comic book. This is an extra large edition, but the art style looks amazing. I don't fully know anymore because I helped fund this Kickstarter months ago. I don't really know much more about it. However, I do believe it is a fantasy type of book, and I'm really excited to get into this. This just showed up at my door like 2 days ago, and so I am very excited to pick this up. Next, I have another graphic novel. This one, though, I did purchase from the author on whatever shop they had set up for this. This is somebody that I have been following for a while on Instagram, and I believe I started following them on Tumblr, and I just absolutely loved their art. And this is one of their original characters that I had fallen in love with before they even decided to put this out. But this is called Overgrown by Siobhan Keenan, and I'm just super excited again to get into this. This came in basically the same day as the other one, so I haven't had a chance to read it yet. But again, the art style and the coloring, can we focus? There we go. Is amazing. I know that this is a shorter volume than some of the other things that I have gotten, but I really just had to get this because this character here, Ashley, is one of my favorites that she draws, and so I'm just very excited for this. Another graphic novel that is an independently published one that I have here is Avialae. I never know how to pronounce this fully, but I think it's Avialae. Chapter 5. This one is by Lucid. This is another one that they post on Tumblr and whatnot, but this one is a like male-male romance. It is obviously a sort of fantasy one as well, because one of our characters is like a half bird, half man character, has the gigantic wings. In our previous chapters, they were sort of growing, I believe, in like chapter 1 and 2. So now we have like a fully fledged type of one here. This is also a very, very thick one compared to the other 4 books that we have gotten. They seem to get bigger and bigger each time. The one sad thing is that it is going to be ending after chapter 6, so I will only be able to really get one more volume of this before the story is complete. But this one I have been keeping up on when it has been coming out. They post on Tumblr and Twitter and everything to make sure everybody's up to date on this. This one is also an 18+ one. It does have some sexy times in there. But I really, really love the way that she draws and everything that she does for this one. It's a really, really nice story. I love the characters. And they also make sure it is signed for you, which is just a bonus. Then we also have Fence issue 3. So this one is fully published now. This is by C.S. Picot and Joanna the Mad. I have been talking about this one since it has been coming out in the individual issues sometime early last year. And I absolutely love it. This one is about boys in like a fencing club sport at a like boarding school. I have not read any of volume 3 yet, so I'm very much behind basically. I need to catch up, but I absolutely love this. It does have LGBTQ elements in it, and they have announced that they are going to be doing a like YA series, or it might just be at least one book that is tied into this world. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but I'm also very excited for that and will definitely be purchasing that when that comes out. And then I also do have the comic issues of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the new ones from Boom Comics. This one is going to be issue number 6, Cordelia Chase, and issue number 7, Robin Woods. So these covers that I've been purchasing are by Kevin Wada, who is also the artist that did the covers for Carrie On and Wayward Son, those like illustrated ones like this. I absolutely love it. That's the main reason I'm purchasing these. These do, I believe, have a volume of Buffy the Vampire Slayer out, and then they are going to be continuing making them as bind-ups. I need to purchase that so I can read them, because these basically just go in their plastic sleeve and stay that way, because I'm just collecting the covers right now. Then Barnes & Noble had a like 50% off book blowout sale. They do this basically 2 times a year now, where they have a pretty large selection of books that are half off. So I definitely went and did that last week. The first 2 books that we have here are actually children's books, baby books. So the first one we have is Rocket Science for Babies. This is going to be by Chris Ferry. These I really enjoy because, especially for this one, it just has like little bits and pieces that are science usually related or math related that are easy to understand and are going to help your baby or young child sort of get ready for science and math related things. And this one was one of the 50% off ones, and so we had to pick it up. The other one, basically exactly the same thing. This one is also by Chris Ferry. This is the ABCs of Mathematics. I really love his ABCs type of ones, mostly because they are going to have 3 separate parts to them. So for example, here we have H is for hypotenuse. This is like what you start off with. You just do like A is for, B is for, C is for, and you go through that way. As your baby gets older, you can then do H is for hypotenuse. A hypotenuse is the longest side of a right triangle. And then as they get even older, you add the bottom part. A right triangle has one 90-degree square angle. The side of the triangle opposite this angle is called the hypotenuse. So it basically grows with your reader, as it says here. So you start off with the really, really easy parts, and as they get older, you continue to use this book and add extra bits to it. I really just love that idea, and again, it was 50% off. We had to pick it up. Then I also picked up Never Contented Things by Sarah Porter. This again was part of the book haul. So this one is apparently a like dark fairy book. The prince in this book of fairies are staggeringly beautiful, astonishingly cruel, and exhausted by the tedium of the centuries, and they find some foster siblings who apparently they want to possess. I don't know exactly anything more than that because the summary is very short, but the cover is very intriguing and I definitely wanted to pick it up. We then also have the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. This one is the American version because we have the 7.5 deaths. I don't know what countries have 7 deaths, but this one is a book that had fascinated me since it came out in hardcover, and I just never picked it up, but the paperback was half off during the book sale. And this is a sort of murder mystery type of book with a like magical realism, fantasy type of element in the fact that the character we're reading from basically lives this day over and over until he can solve the death of Evelyn Hardcastle, but each time he awakes in that day, he's in a body of a different person, and so I'm very excited to have my hands on it. Then I also have The Haunted by Danielle Vega. I've basically been purchasing all of Danielle Vega's books. She does YA horror, and she does it in a relatable way for people to get into the horror genre, but it is also quite creepy and scary. It's not something that pulls any punches usually. This one I don't know too much about, but it was the one that I have not purchased yet from her. So basically this is going to be a book about our main character Hendrix, who apparently moved to a new town, and her parents purchased, I guess, the haunted house in that town, and she starts noticing creepy things happening. It says she's not sure if it's her past that's haunting her or if it's actually the house, but obviously something is haunted, and so I'm very excited about this one. The last book I picked up at that trip to Barnes & Noble is actually not part of the 50% off book haul, but it was in the bargain section, and that is Final Girls by Riley Sager. This is a book that I have been wanting to purchase and read for a while as well. I've been very intrigued by all of Riley Sager's books that have come out in the last few years, especially since it is blurbed by Stephen King, and basically if anything is blurbed by Stephen King, I want to read it. And so it was on sale for $6.98 as a hardcover in their bargain section. So it was finally time to pick this up, and I'm just very excited about it. Probably won't get to it this month because October is like right around the corner, but I now have it. And then the last two books that I have here are actually from the July and August unboxings of Shelf Love Crate. I will leave the whole video for that one linked down below, but for the July one we have The Beckoning Shadow. This one is by Catherine Blair. This is a sort of world where our main character has magic, where she can turn people's fears into reality. She doesn't really like that, but she finds more people that are like her that have some sort of powers, and she ends up entering a game where they have the chance to rewrite the past. And then the August book was The Merciful Crow by Margaret Owen. This one is about a girl who is going to be the next leader of the Crows, which is her group, and they are like mercy killers. They are called to go see to a royal killing, and basically it turns out that the prince and his bodyguard faked their deaths because they wanted to get away from the ruthless queen, and they want our main character to help in exchange for leniency or mercy for the Crows' protection. I don't know much else. Again, I believe there are powers in here. I think our main character, I think I remember it said that she has like bone magic. So again, another fantasy book. So those are all the books that I have for July and August. I'm definitely hoping to continue with these videos getting posted again now that I think I have gotten my life a little bit more calmed down. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up to let me know. Let me know if you've read any of these books, because besides the Avialae that I've been reading online, The Teeth in the Mist, and the Stephen King one, I haven't read any of these books, and I'm very excited to see what you guys think. Subscribe to this channel if you would like to see more videos. I do have videos up on Mondays and Thursdays, so I will see you then. Bye!